Hello and a very warm welcome to Cognudo Key. Right now, inside your body, there are trillions of tiny delivery drivers working around the clock on a mission that keeps you alive. In this explainer, we're going to get to know the absolute superstar molecule behind it all, hemoglobin.
Have you ever wondered what actually gives blood its famous red color? Or, more importantly, what's the secret behind getting life-giving oxygen to every single part of your body? Well, it turns out the answer to both those questions is the same. One single, incredible molecule.
And that molecule is hemoglobin. You can honestly think of it as the unsung hero of your bloodstream. It's a microscopic powerhouse that is absolutely essential for keeping you alive and well. You know, the name haemoglobin actually tells you pretty much exactly what it is. The heme part is a compound that has iron in it, and it's this iron that gives blood its red color because it reflects red light. And globin, well, that's simply the protein it's attached to. So, at its core, haemoglobin is an iron-based protein, simple as that. But its job is so much more than just color. Hemoglobin is also vital for the structure of your red blood cells, helping them keep that flexible, disc-like shape so they can squeeze through even the tiniest blood vessels. The secret to how it does all this lies in its complex 3D structure, which was a huge puzzle until a scientist named Max Perutz finally figured it out back in 1959. That discovery was a game changer because it showed us exactly how this amazing molecule could do its job. But if you ask me, hemoglobin's main job, its true calling, is transport. The best way to think about it is like a microscopic taxi service, constantly picking up and dropping off a very, very precious passenger, oxygen. And it's a two-way street. The hemoglobin taxi picks up oxygen where it's plentiful, in the lungs, and delivers it all over your body to your tissues. Then, on the return trip, it picks up a different passenger, the waste product, carbon dioxide, and carries it all the way back to the lungs so you can breathe it out. It's an unbelievably efficient system. Now, to be a really good taxi, hemoglobin has to be able to change its shape. It has two different forms. When it's empty, without oxygen, it's in the T state, or tent state. But as soon as it binds with oxygen, the iron atom gets pulled into the center, and the whole molecule kind of relaxes into what we call the R state. This physical shape-shifting is the key to everything. It changes how tightly it holds on to oxygen, letting it grab on easily in the lungs and then release it willingly in the tissues where it's needed most. So let's follow one of these taxis on its journey. In the lungs, it picks up 4 oxygen molecules and snaps into its full taxi R state. Then it travels through your bloodstream to your body's tissues and drops off that precious oxygen for your cells. For the return trip, it picks up carbon dioxide and heads back to the lungs to get rid of it. This entire circuit just repeats over and over again, billions of times every single second of your life. It's incredible. But what happens when this perfectly tuned system gets out of balance? You see, having just the right amount of hemoglobin is critical. Both too little and too much can lead to some serious health issues. When you have too little hemoglobin, you get a condition called anemia. This is often caused by things like an iron deficiency or blood loss, and it can leave you feeling really weak, dizzy, and short of breath. On the flip side, having too much hemoglobin leads to something called polycythemia. This makes the blood thicker, which is dangerous because it increases the risk of blood clots and even strokes. It really is a delicate biological balance. So how do we even know what's normal? Well, a common blood test called Haematocrit checks the percentage of your blood that's made up of red blood cells. As you can see, the healthy range is usually a little bit higher for men than for women, but these levels here give you a general idea of the target for a healthy adult. And of course, some people are more at risk for developing anemia. For instance, pregnant women have higher demands on their bodies. Older individuals might not get enough iron in their diet, and people with chronic illnesses can also be more susceptible. So it's definitely important to be aware of these risk factors. But here's the good news. For many of us, we can actually help our bodies maintain healthy hemoglobin levels with some pretty simple lifestyle choices. So let's talk about how you can support this superstar molecule. Your diet is your first line of defense, really. To help your body produce enough hemoglobin, you want to focus on iron-rich foods. Think leafy greens, pulses, that sort of thing. And make sure you're getting enough vitamin B12. Oh, and here's a really useful tip. The compounds in tea can actually block your body from absorbing iron, so it's probably best to avoid drinking it right with your meals.
Ultimately, it just comes down to being a bit more mindful of what you're eating, which leaves us with a pretty important question to think about. Are you giving your body the right fuel to keep your internal hero, your hemoglobin, strong and healthy?
I really hope you found this breakdown of hemoglobin interesting and helpful. If you learned something new today, please give this explainer a like and share it with someone you know. And for more deep dives just like this one, don't forget to subscribe to Cognito Key. Thank you so much for watching.